I'm in southern Ireland on the outskirts of Cork, on an idyllic street in a wealthy neighborhood. But the story of financial ruin lurks just around the corner. Not one of these houses is finished. It's as if the builders dropped their tools and walked away in the middle of the project. No one looks out of these windows. A ghostly feeling pervades this place, which is in fact called a ghost estate. Recently, the Irish government calculated there are 2,000 of these ghost estates. These unfinished empty houses are the bitter legacy of the Celtic Tiger, the economic boom Ireland enjoyed up to 2007. Now everyone's asking how it could have come to this and what to do next. Half-finished houses no one wants or can use, except maybe as an adventure playground. I come across the remains of a campfire. When Ireland's economy collapsed 4 years ago, the money ran out. Now these visible remains of the building boom bring only sadness. There's not a soul around. But then I meet Amelia and her mother, Pola Tankiewicz. They go walking here every day along the same lonely path. They live in Carrigtwohill, near the city of Cork. Pola hardly knows her few neighbors. She came here from Poland when the economy was still booming, and she wound up here in this ghost estate. She likes her house and garden, but everyday life is a struggle. Buying milk for Amelia isn't easy without a car. There are no shops nearby. The nearest railway station is far away, and there are no sidewalks. Amelia plays mostly at home.
What I miss on the estates like here, I miss a playground in the middle of a estate for children, and some benches and places where you can sit.
It's little things that make her life difficult.
America, like, I don't know what all those developers, what they were thinking, because like, who's gonna move to those places?
The developments were supposed to mean big money for investors. Tax relief and cheap credit were extremely tempting. But much of today's Ireland is locked behind fences. Empty houses tell the tale of dreams that died on the vine. I meet a friend of Pola's, architect Sean Cairns. The ghost estates are still a shock for him.
My view is that there's many properties that have been built in the wrong place, too far from major urban centres, no local work, no local services available. And I think that they are doomed.
He talks about how real estate here was built more and more on pure speculation. And then the bubble burst.
We've never really ever had a property crash. In my parents' time and my grandparents' time, the value of their home increased over their lifetimes.
A few kilometers farther on is the next ghost estate. And again, there are no people around, just horses grazing on the empty land, and more streets leading nowhere. But then I noticed this house, dwarfed by the giant construction site nearby. Anne Cowley opens the door to me. She's 81 and widowed.
Yes, can I have? Yes.
Anne says she rused the day she ever moved in here. Great things were promised. Now it's with anger and disappointment that she points out the eyesore next door.
Since we came, nothing has been done here. They just stopped building. And the roads have been left unfinished, and it's just become a dump. People get rid of all their rubbish there. They bring wheelbarrows full of rubbish and full of grass cuttings and so on and throw them in there. It's very cold.
Her grandson stops by for ice cream. Anne misses having neighbors and feels shunted aside. And the financial aspect is a constant thorn in her side.
The house is worth half what I paid for it. So selling it would be disastrous, but I have no alternative. I have to stay here. I'm stuck with it.
Many others are just like her, trapped in their houses and trapped by bank debt. There's no way out. Instead of a garden, Johnny has only a little bit of dirt to play in. He doesn't understand why the houses next to his grandma were never built.
But why didn't they continue?
That's a question I'm asking too. I drive into the Cork city centre. It's less than half an hour from Cowley and a world away. Cork is a bustling city. The contrast between this place and the God-forsaken ghost estates could hardly be greater. I notice many young people. It was for them and their parents that the new estates were built. So why are tens of thousands of houses standing empty? I head for the office of city planner David Moore. He can offer a good overview of what went wrong.
This is open space.
He shows me one example, the village of Cloyne.
And these remain as
the yellow areas show how the new estates were planned on much too large a scale.
It's a good village in many ways. So
we decide to drive the 30 kilometers over there.
empty building sites, empty units.
We visit houses on the edge of the village, which have been waiting for years for buyers.
Estates where developers.
No one has ever lived here. They appear intact at first.
That's telephone. No, it's not. It's the telephone. If that was hanging out, it'd be dangerous. But I would imagine the main lines are cut. So it's the start of an erosion of the house. So houses decay quite quickly, actually, when people don't live in them.
And then when water starts seeping in, it's all over. Then it's too late for any buyer. Empty lots and unfinished construction as far as the eye can see. Can anything be done?
The first thing to do is to how to sort out the existing estate, whether to shut off parts which will never become viable into the future, or whether you develop them out for different purposes.
There are no easy answers. One question still nags. What are the politicians doing about all this? I meet with Kieran Lynch. He's a representative with the Labour Party.
We do have a problem that's going to take maybe a generation to actually resolve.
Even politicians don't have any glib answers for the ghost estates.
We need to completely reform housing policy and housing strategy in Ireland, move it away from an investment-led approach to an approach that actually is about people buying homes and actually building communities. Has the highest number of registered ghost estates, but
and then Lynch shows me something really bizarre. Here, of all places, stands the second tallest building in Ireland. But it too is an empty relic. The owner is waiting for real estate prices to go back up. For me, it's a symbol of all of Ireland, a land waiting for better days.